On the giant screen, Formula One cars shot past like lightning, their tires screeching as they hit a sharp turn. But just when viewers around the world thought they were witnessing a dramatic moment of positional competition on lap 37, the broadcast director made a simple decision: cut to the Paddock Club VIP area. It was only a few seconds, long enough to ignite a firestorm no one anticipated. On the television screen, two figures sat close together, as if trying to blend in without actually being seen. Large sunglasses partially obscured their faces. Their expensive casual clothes were casual, yet elegant. But to the millions of viewers, their identities were instantly clear. It was Kai and Tan Songyun. At first, not many noticed. The camera only focused on them for a few seconds before returning to the track. But in the age of social media, a few seconds is an eternity. Screenshots began circulating. Short videos were replayed, slowed down, analyzed. Within minutes, their names had shot up the trending lists on various platforms. Fans wondered, was this a coincidence? Or was there more to it than just two celebrities attending the same event? The Chinese Grand Prix was supposed to be a battleground for Formula One's biggest teams. Red Bull and Ferrari were locked in a fierce battle for constructor dominance. Analysts discussed pit stop strategies, tire degradation, and podium chances. But suddenly, the public conversation shifted. On fan forums, people began zooming in on the broadcast footage. They measured the distance between Kai and Tan Songyun's seats. It was about 2 feet. Not too close, but not far enough to be considered a coincidence. Even more intriguing was their body language. Kai seemed to lean slightly toward Tan Songyun as he spoke, while Tan Songyun occasionally turned her head, as if making sure the camera wasn't on them. Their expressions were relaxed, but there was something about the small gestures that piqued fans' curiosity. One social media user wrote that the moment felt like a scene from an unfilmed romance drama. Others speculated that they might just be old friends who happened to be watching the race together. But the more people rewatched the clip, the more small details emerged. The way they laughed at the same time. The way Kai dipped his head slightly when someone in the front row stood up. The way Tan Songyun adjusted his glasses just as the camera swept their way. In the entertainment world, small details often fuel major rumors. Entertainment reporters began to act quickly. They checked the Paddock Club guest list. They tried to figure out who invited the two actors. Did they arrive together? Or did they just happen to be sitting in the same area? Meanwhile, the race on the track continued. Cars raced past the starting line at speeds exceeding 300 kilometers per hour. The pit crew worked like precision machines. But online, the public's attention had already diverted. The short clip of Kai and Tan Songyun had been viewed millions of times. Even Formula One fans who initially didn't recognize the two actors began to wonder about their identities. Some tried to be rational, reminding them that the Paddock Club was often attended by many celebrities. Sitting close together meant nothing. But for fans of Chinese dramas, even the slightest possibility felt like a clue to a bigger story. What made the situation even more intriguing was the fact that the two seemed to be deliberately trying to stay out of the spotlight. Sunglasses in the indoor area, sitting slightly apart, calm, almost overly cautious gestures, as if they knew the cameras could appear at any moment. Hours after the race, the topic still dominated online conversations. Hashtags about Kai and Tan Songyun at the Shanghai Grand Prix continued to trend across various platforms. Fan accounts began creating collages of images from the broadcast. They compared facial expressions, trying to guess what the two celebrities were talking about when the camera focused on them. Some speculated that they might have been discussing the race. Others believed their conversation was much more personal. What was clear was that the brief moment had become a digital phenomenon. In a world connected by cameras and screens, no second is truly lost. For some, it was just a small snippet of a sports broadcast. But for millions of fans, it was a fascinating mystery to be solved. And ironically, it all happened not because of an official statement, not because of an exclusive interview, but because of one simple decision by the broadcast director to cut to the audience. It was just a few seconds on screen. But sometimes, those few seconds are enough to start a story much bigger than the race itself. Hours after the clip went viral, fans began to notice something even more subtle. In the clip, slowed down to almost half its original speed, Kai briefly glanced at the track, then back at Tan Songyun with an expression that was hard to decipher. It wasn't a dramatic expression like in a TV series, but something simpler, a small, seemingly spontaneous smile. For some, it was simply a reaction to a tense race. But for a fan community accustomed to reading their idol's body language, that small moment felt meaningful. Speculation grew even more when someone posted another photo from a different angle in the Paddock Club area. The photo wasn't from the television broadcast, but rather of a spectator sitting a few rows behind them. In the image, Kai appears to be standing for a moment, gazing out at the track, while Tan Songyun remains seated with her hands folded in her lap. Neither is posing for the camera, nor does she appear aware that anyone is taking their picture. It's precisely this lack of awareness that makes the photo feel so real. Within hours, theories began to emerge. Some believed they had arrived together from the start, simply keeping their distance to avoid attracting attention. Others suggested they may have met by chance in the VIP area and ended up sitting close together. Without an official statement, the public's imagination was rife. Entertainment journalists began trying to piece together the day's chronology, tracing the arrival times of the celebrity guests at the Shanghai International Circuit. Some reports stated that Kai was seen entering the paddock about an hour before the race started, while Tan Songyun reportedly arrived shortly after. Did this mean they arrived separately? Or did they enter through different doors? Interestingly, neither actor had commented on their social media accounts until the evening after the race. There were no photos from the stands, no posts about Formula One, not even a hint of their presence. This silence only fueled public curiosity. Some fans began recalling various entertainment industry events Kai and Tan Songyun had attended over the years. They searched for evidence to suggest the two had been involved in the same project, or at least attended the same event at the same time. The results were not entirely clear, but enough to fuel lengthy discussions on fan forums. Amid all the speculation, some tried to put the situation into simpler perspective. They suggested that perhaps the two superstars were simply racing fans who happened to receive VIP invitations to the same event. In the busy entertainment world, sometimes celebrities simply want to enjoy an event without the spotlight. But one thing remained undeniable. That brief moment captured on camera had sparked a global conversation that transcended the world of sports. Several international media outlets even wrote short articles about the phenomenon, noting how a single snippet of live broadcast could spark the curiosity of millions. When night finally fell on Shanghai and the circuit lights began to dim, the race was long over. The drivers had left the podium, and the teams were busy unpacking their equipment. But online, the story lived on. Those few seconds of video continued to be replayed, analyzed, and discussed, a testament to the fact that in the age of ubiquitous cameras, even the briefest of moments can become stories that resonate long after the racing engines have stopped roaring.